What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm a little bit late here. Got a haircut. Yeah, needed to get a haircut. Basically, it was the sides of my hair was like out of control. Had to trim that off. Had to get that in range here. It's weird looking at my hair in this menu like this, but yeah, what is up, everybody? Today is Tuesday. It is September 4th. And, you know, this is the day after Labor Day. And the thing about the day after Labor Day is this is like the return of reality. Once Labor Day is in the rear view window, summer is gone. We are now officially in the fall season. The first NFL game, the first regular season NFL game, is this Thursday. A lot of big shows are probably going to start up on TV. I watch everything on Netflix like way after the fact. So I don't know, like, what is the big show that is about to start later in this month of September? But we're entering the fall season. Everybody is back at school. People are in college. They're in school. We do have Noah in chat, and he says, yo, I emailed you the list. Noah, I did get that. I checked that. I just saw that like about 10 minutes ago. A list of a lot of links for a lot of cool Magic Leap experiences. So I will definitely be taking a greater look at that. Not right now, though. I didn't really have time before this show. I can take a quick look at these links, though, and see if any of them were like YouTube links, because if they're YouTube links, it's super easy for me to grab YouTube videos. But like all these other videos, you got to kind of yeah, I'm not really seeing if these are YouTube links or not, so I'll have to check that out later. But Noah, straight up, I very, very, very much appreciate the fact that you were able to go ahead and grab all those links. I will definitely be checking that out. I'm always looking for interesting their Twitter. Okay, yeah, their Twitter. No, you can grab Twitter videos. It's just a little process that you have to go through. Where YouTube, see, I use this tool. It is called 4K Video Downloader. And 4K Video Downloader is a streamer's best friend if you're doing like news stories and you just want to grab some stuff, especially in this field of VR gaming, AR gaming. Usually if a company is serious about things, they will put a video on YouTube showing off their new trailer. Like this video that we're seeing right here, this is for Rec Room. This was something that came out on August 9th, so this is almost a month old now here. But yeah, if you got a big game, you're going to throw it on YouTube, and usually we can grab those trailers. That's a good thing. Okay, so probably should actually start off with our opening sequence. And somebody one time says, why don't you do this automatically at the beginning of the show? And the reason why is it takes us a little while to get started. So this is VR Game Rankings. This is Daily Vlog Live, episode 191. It is Tuesday. It is September 4th. This is the official, legitimate beginning of the fall season. And so we are in fall. September, October, November, December. This is fall. This is the fall season. Everybody's back in school. Everybody's back to their normal jobs. Vacations are over with. It's back to reality, but it is a great time in the video game world because typically the fall season means the return of all the big video games. Although it's been a little bit different over the years, we start to now get a lot more big games in January, February, and March. Christmas in July. A lot of interesting things happen, especially on the VR side of things, because the VR dates don't necessarily line up with other kind of dates. So, you know, VR dates don't typically line up. Let's see, I might as well throw like a Zone of Enders trailer on, right? Because, I mean, hey, this is the release day for Zone of the Enders. Did anybody grab that? Is anybody interested in Zone of the Enders? Any of you that happen to have PlayStation VR, although this is available on Steam, right? This is available on Oculus Store, maybe? I don't know. But Zone of the Enders, actually, that's a good question. Is Zone of the Enders on the Oculus Store? Zone of the Enders, Oculus. I have no clue. Not seen it yet. Zone of the Enders, Steam. I do see it on Steam. It is $29.99. There are 4 user reviews already. But so it is on Steam. And PSVR, I believe Zone of the Enders. I mean, it's a regular PS4 game. It just has a VR mode. But it's available on PlayStation as well, and I believe it is. Yeah, it is $29.99 on PlayStation as well. So this is the first legit big time VR release of the month of September, starting things off a little bit slower in the month of September. Sponge 720 says Hideo Kojima's not involved, not interested. Paradise Decay says not seen it on Oculus. Phil Yarn not interested for some reason. No, I'm sure there's a very obvious reason you're not interested in. Number one, it's 30 bones, so it's not like a drop in the bucket. If you're going to pay 30 bones, you might save it for Windlands 2, which of course we found out about that yesterday. And Windlands 2 on September 12th. The beautiful thing about Windlands 2 is early September looked like it was starting off just a little bit slow, but Windlands 2 is not slow. Windlands 2 is a major release. I'm still curious, everybody out there, what do you think about exclusivity? Obviously, it probably depends whether you have an Oculus Rift or not. If you don't have an Oculus Rift, I would say the exclusivity pisses you the hell off. If you have an Oculus Rift, you're probably like, well, I don't really agree with it, but hey, I have a Rift, so I really don't have to worry about it. Oculus is trying to build a console relationship with their customers. They're trying to be another store. You know, they want to be Steam. They want to be all of these different stores that Uplay, all the different stores that are on the PC. They all want to be part of that. So everybody wants that store, and Oculus is going to have these exclusives. And I can understand how they irritate people, especially longtime PC gamers that were never console players. I think those are the most irritated of all. Longtime PC players that have never screwed around with consoles, or at least not screwed around with them for maybe 7, 8, 9 years. They're just not used to this exclusivity in a particular store thing. This is like a new ball game that's being played on PC. Console players are used to exclusivity. It is absolutely normal. It is not a different thing. It's not a big deal. Phil Yarn says, right, $30 is pretty steep. That's Stormland type prices. I don't know about that. Stormland, probably a $39.99 kind of game. You know, Farpoint, or Firewall Zero Hour. Firewall Zero Hour is $39.99. Like, if you were a regular person that is going to buy that randomly, it's $39.99, which that is a full price game in the world of VR. We don't have $59.99 games in VR. I guess Fallout 4 VR, Skyrim VR. Is there a list out there? It'd be very interesting to see how many games have come out at $59.99 in the VR game, and how many of them have held onto that price for a lengthy period of time, like 5, 6, 7 months. It's still $59.99 after release. Now, I know Fallout 4 VR, I believe $59.99, Skyrim $59.99, Project Cars 2 $59.99, Elite Dangerous, I think originally $59.99 maybe, Eve Valkyrie originally I think $59.99. But anybody in chat, if you guys want to help me out with a list of PC games that have really gotten aggressive with that $59.99 price, it's kind of rare. You really have to be like a Grand Theft Auto VR if you want to come in at $59. You have to be a proven commodity, and then you can go after $59.99. Paradise Decay says, I don't see Zone of the Enders in the Oculus coming releases list, so probably just on Steam. Yeah, a number of these Japanese publishers seem to do Steam and PSVR, and they kind of ignore Oculus. So that is that's an issue that Oculus has to deal with, because they don't get everybody just automatically jumping onto the Oculus store. Not sure exactly why that takes place. VR Spry Guy, I do agree though. Space Junkies looks fantastic. The free weekend was at least okay. That is Phil Yarn. He's saying, dude, Anthony, you got to check out Space Junkies, my man. You got to check it out. And we know the whole Space Junkies thing. I went psycho about Uplay. Yeah, I do need to get around to trying Space Junkies. You know, the whole Uplay thing. I still think it, honestly, I mean, my argument has always been, if you're going to have a store, bring out like a legit hardware platform. And Steve of VR Roundtable will say, well, what about Netflix? You know, Netflix is kind of like their store. They don't have their own TV. And I'm like, dude, apples to oranges. I don't know. Back in the old good video game days, if you wanted to get $10 from every single person that releases a game on your platform, you created a platform. You created a hardware platform. You created a new video game system. The Panasonic 3DO, the Atari Jaguar, the Nintendo 64, all these different systems that came out, they wanted to get $10, $15 licensing fees from every single company that puts their game on the platform. Now it's all about having a store and getting the 30% cut. Everybody sells a game on your platform, you get 30% of every freaking game. And then if it happens to be your own game, you get basically 100%. And that's what everybody's doing with all of these stores. And that's where I got caught up in that. But, you know, it's not a big deal. We don't need to get into that. But anyway, folks, let's see. Is there any actual news today? And we do have a couple of new trailers that I've seen. Okay, so you know, yesterday I was talking about Secret Location. That company, Secret Location, they're doing The Great Sea, the adaptation of the Philip K. Dick short story. And Secret Location, they're also responsible for Blasters of the Universe. Well, imagine this. The very next day, we've got an announcement of a new game from the developer, from the actual developer of Blasters of the Universe, and it is called Transpose. Now, I don't have a lot of information on this. I do have some screenshots. We've got a couple of screenshots, and I do have a trailer. So let's go ahead and check this out. Not very high resolution on these screenshots. I believe this was from a Venture Beat story, and there is a trailer out there. This game is called Transpose, not to be confused with Transference. Here's the trailer. Let's see if we got some audio. Okay, so that's fall 2018. We are officially in fall of 2018. That is Secret Location. That was the company I was talking about yesterday. I had no idea that the very next day they're going to come out with this game called Transpose. Sponge720 says Tron Feel. Bullet Ape says Blasters of the Universe was quite good. Pick that up only recently. Dude, Blasters of the Universe is much more than good, because Blasters of the Universe, in my personal opinion, may be the best pure gameplay I've ever seen in a wave shooter. The best pure gameplay, both defense and offense. Just gameplay, nothing else. I'm just talking about gameplay. Blasters of the Universe, freaking incredible. I believe Secret Location has a number of different teams, and the game team, the team that really made Blasters of the Universe, this is basically their follow-up to Blasters of the Universe. It's very hard to get a feel for what the heck this is. That trailer doesn't quite show you a hell of a lot. There is a Tron feel to it, I suppose. Let me see if I can check out the story on this on Venture Beat real quick and see if I can grab any other details real quick. Yeah, it's funny how VentureBeat, like I typically will check different websites. I'll check. Obviously, Upload VR, Road to VR. Those are your two VR websites that everybody checks, right? But I do like to check out Engadget. I like to check out Verge. I like to check out Wired. And VentureBeat is another one that you throw in there with that. And some of these websites are connected to each other, and they'll sometimes have kind of the same stories and stuff. But now I can't find Transpose. Oh, here it is. Secret Locations Transpose is a time manipulation VR puzzle game. This is our guy, Dean Takahashi, Sacramento native. Dean Takahashi was just had a story about Secret Location, now has another one. And Transpose is a dreamlike, gravity defying virtual reality game where you manipulate time back and forth to solve puzzles. The game is set in a surreal world with computer graphics inspired art style. You know what's kind of cool? It kind of looks like 0 Days a little bit, you know, like zzz, like that kind of like art style is cool in VR. Definitely curious to see what that looks like. So Transpose does look kind of interesting, and this game is coming supposedly later this year. I have another quote from Ryan Andahl, president and co-founder of Secret Location. This is another interview with GamesBeat, and he says, you get a little taste of what that larger story is with this preview. So wait, maybe Transpose is kind of like an early access game and you're just getting a little part of it in the beginning? Yeah, so anyway, this is news. It is a new game. We don't know anything about it. Let me go ahead and see what people are talking about in chat. And Transpose, what kind of the game is it? Puzzle? Yeah, I mean it's a puzzle game. Phil Yarn says, I played more Pixel Ripped yesterday. I made it to the 3rd level. That game is epic. Pixel Ripped 1989 is ridiculous. It is one of the best VR games out there without question. I mean, it's in the top 50. I think in our newest HTC Vive and Oculus Rift rankings, Pixel Ripped ranked in the top 50 in its debut, and Hellblade was in the top 20 in both of the updates. So some of these new games are showing well in the rankings. Pixel Ripped, absolutely amazing. Bullet Ape says he finished Pixel Ripped. He loved it. Awesome game. Phil Yarn says, I hate playing in the classroom. I mean, the classroom's a big part of it. You know, you hear these little kids talking, the goofy teacher, you got a distractor, you keep shooting the projector, you shoot the boom box over there, you shoot the stuff that's up on the, you know, you distract her, and then you're playing this Game Boy game at the same time. And you do feel like that anxiety because you're like trying to get through this Game Boy game and you're hiding your game down. You're looking at the teacher for a couple minutes. She starts explaining something. Boom, you bring your Game Boy game out again and you're playing it again. It's a big part of the game. You can't completely hate the classroom, Phil Yarn, because you're hating a huge chunk of the game. But I know what you're talking about because the absolute best parts of Pixel Ripped 1989 is when it leaks out into your reality and it's like you're playing like kind of like a Mario style game that has leaked out within reality. That is the coolest part of it. No question about it. I'm stuck on the final boss basically of that game. Last time I was playing it, I was stuck on the final boss. Okay, so we do have some more news to get into, and this isn't anything super incredible, but I tell you what, if you have an Oculus Rift, if you tried this Wolfenstein 3D demo like I did, one of the things that you realized is your aim is completely out of whack because it's designed for an HTC Vive wand. And so the aim is completely off. So I got this, downloaded it, loved the environments. I loved the ceiling. I loved the floors. I loved the walls. I liked the German shepherds. I liked all the bad guys opening the doors. It is a really cool experience. It is very, very room scale experience, but the shooting was completely borked. That has been fixed. There is a new version that works with the Oculus Rift. And not only does it work with the Oculus Rift, but you go into that one room where it had those posters that showed the Vive controls. Well, now it actually shows Oculus Rift controllers. So the guy went in there, He redid it, updated it, and redid it so that it would work perfectly with Oculus Rift touch controllers. And now I am shooting absolutely perfectly, and you get that blood spray. You shoot these Nazis, man, you shoot them in their head. Blood ends up splashing onto the ceiling, but it's all pixel. It's all like squares of blood, and a few of them will start dripping down. It is a cool effect. Really liking this, you know? It is really cool to like visit a game that you played way back in the days, and now you're literally inside the game. It is a different experience. This is another retro kind of a thing, and the bigger question that we have to ask about this Wolfenstein 3D is, don't you guys remember me talking about id Software and talking about Bethesda? And I was saying, look, why don't they go back to their classics and bring these games out? Are you telling me that if they didn't redo Wolfenstein 3D, basically exactly what this dude did, and if they were charging $9.99 for this, or even $7.99 or something like that, and they had it on Steam, and it was in the Oculus store, and it was on PlayStation VR, and you could get Wolfenstein 3D for $7.99, and it was published by Bethesda and developed by id Software or whatever, are you telling me you wouldn't buy it? I would buy it, but here we are, we're playing this for free, you know, technically. I mean, some of us have the WAD for Wolfenstein 3D anyway on our computer legitimately, so we can kind of dodge it that way. But why doesn't id take advantage of that back catalog? Quake, the first Quake 2, all these different games. I would pay $7.99, $8.99 if they did a proper job of redoing all the games. This game has some pretty good like pseudo 3D audio. You're finding these secret passageways up here a little bit. This is that MAME fan video where he did it. So now I can finally enjoy it to the level that MAME fan was enjoying it, from the standpoint of now I can actually shoot. I can actually shoot properly. Let's see what people are talking about over here. Phil Urn says, damn, I want a PSVR so bad. I'm trying to wait for the Black Friday sales. It's going to be a while until Black Friday. You might find a great PSVR deal for about $200. Next time I see a ridiculous PSVR deal, I'm going to have to talk to Phil Yarn about it. But he's in the UK, right? So we'll have to find a UK deal. VR show, Epics. Epics is in the building. Agreed, Anthony. So many games that could be VR retrofitted. Yeah, it's like retro gaming tourism, you know? It's like you get to revisit the games of yesteryear. There's been a few mods out there for Mario 64 where you can almost kind of like play a fake version of Mario 64 in VR, and it's like, sure, why not? I know a ton of retro gamers. There's a lot of people that are really into retro gaming. And my good buddy Chris, he's a retro gamer. He has his own YouTube channel. It's called Classic Gaming Quarterly. He does these really good historic pieces on like the launches of different systems, like the Saturn, Super Nintendo, stuff like that. Has really good videos about the launches of these classic systems. He's like a hardcore retro gamer. I used to be into retro, and I was always playing retro, and then I got into VR. This is the kind of game I could invite my buddy Chris over, and he's played this. You know, he's gone down all these hallways. He knows this game. He knows the swastikas on the wall, and the Hitler, and the German shepherds, and the Achtung, and all that. He knows all of this intimately well, and I think putting this headset on him and him playing this, I think he would finally come around and see, oh my God, this is virtual tourism. Virtual tourism back to all my favorite games of yesteryear. How freaking awesome would that be? And just imagine when Nintendo finally digs their head out of the sand, ostrich style, and when they come around to VR, and when Nintendo starts to mine its back catalog. Imagine playing like Super Mario World, and somehow like Super Mario World is displayed out in front of you and you're playing it along, but it's somehow in 3D, and it would just be so awesome. Epix is saying he'd love to see the King's Quest old sets. done in first-person VR. Oh my God, there are so many incredible games we would love to play. Anything that is even remotely 3D, you would want to revisit in VR again. Paradise Decay says we still need a Terminator and RoboCop experience in VR. We need a lot of great stuff in VR. Yeah, Terminator, RoboCop. That would. What about freaking Predator? Predator and VR, where you are the Predator, or actually Terminator though. Think about the original Terminator movie when he was going through the nightclub, and you know how it analyzes everything, like it analyzes every car, every motorcycle, and it, you know, tells you what the make and model is and all of that. Imagine that in your VR headset. That would work great. Or Predator and the heat vision and all of that. That would work cool as well. Anything that has an interesting kind of HUD naturally works great with a VR headset. So, Epics, you are joining me on what I call a shit show. This is a show where I don't really have news stories and I'm just kind of winging it. I do these shows quite often. It's interesting. It's fun. Okay, here's kind of a news story. This is for people in the Oculus world. A lot of people that are in the Oculus world, one of the things you have to deal with is you have to deal with a USB add-on card so that all your freaking sensors will work, you know, and all your sensors will come together and you won't have all these different problems. It's an issue for Oculus Rift owners. It's an issue that I really hope with CV2, I really hope this thing is a non-existent thing. I want to move away from having 4 or 5 different USB sensors. Let's come to grips with the reality that HTC, well, Valve really has shown the way with lighthouses. Lighthouses do not have to be connected to a computer. They do need to be connected to power. It'd be nice to have a battery-operated lighthouse. How awesome would it be if your lighthouse had a little battery in it that would last at least 2 full weeks, and you just had to charge it every 2 full weeks? That would be kind of nice. Although trying to get a charge cable up to your lighthouse is kind of an irritation as well. But this is the Fresco Logic USB. It is in the news. It is on the Oculus subreddit. Let me bounce over there real quick, because this is something I pay attention to, because I every once in a while will have problems with my sensors. And I do have this this particular card, this USB card. Let me see if I can find this story, because I know people are talking about it somewhere on here. There are new drivers, and I got to get the new drivers for this because I think, oh, here it is. New Fresco Logic USB 3.0 host controller driver. So I believe this is a brand new driver. Let me go ahead and click on this. And it says, read the comments below before installing the drivers. Look like they have some issues. Isn't that our luck? Finally, we see like there's a brand new driver for the Fresco Logic USB cards, which a lot of us have. And now the number one reply to this thread, PSA, if your sensor setup is working fine right now, don't install these. It's pointless and you'll only risk ruining your current setup stability. Okay, so maybe this was not a good news story. My apologies. I hope nobody ran out there and immediately installed these Fresco Logic drivers. I just assumed. I saw the title and I thought, oh, we got some new drivers. Hopefully it'll work a little bit better. But apparently that is not the case. Okay, so I do have a trailer, however, for an unknown game. I don't know anything about this. I think it comes out tomorrow. It is called The Last Operator. It is a shooter style game. Let's check it out. I don't know about you, but this trailer is incredibly exciting. The production values are off the charts. But it is good timing. It's definitely good timing for this developer, with Firewall 0 Hour on PSVR being a really big deal right now. Any kind of game that could possibly provide any kind of a similar feel is going to get a little bit of a love. The animations look a bit janky on this one. This one kind of does look a little bit amateur hour just looking at this trailer here. I would have to say this is indie, but it might be able to compete with Pavlov and Onward and other games in this category. This is called The Last Operator. I believe it comes out tomorrow. Let me see if I can get a price for this. Hold on one second. The Last Operator. So this is going to be $15. It might be available right now, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is actually available. Oh, no. Wait, yeah, it's available. It says March 13th. Has this always been available? I thought this was a brand new game. So I'm looking at the Steam page. It says $15 and it says March 13th. I saw a headline somewhere that said that was a brand new game. So, yeah, the shit show continues. I continue to come up with bad info. My apologies. Well, these things can and do happen. So let me just go ahead and grab a miscellaneous trailer. And we'll do this Oculus Touch over 50 launch games trailer. Oh, it's going to have some loud music. Okay, so yeah, I got some incorrect information, but let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce over to Upload VR. Let's see what the biggest news stories are out there. Oh, you know what? There is some video that is out there from Trover Saves the Universe. I was going to try to grab some Trover Saves the Universe footage before the show started and then got distracted. Let's look this up. Yeah, baby. Okay, let's filter this to like today. And yeah, so we do have there is a trailer. So I guess this is a new PAX 2018 trailer. So this is cool. I will grab this in just a second here. All right. So yeah, Trover Saves a Universe, an interesting game. It is coming to PSVR, I believe, early in 2019, probably February 2019, somewhere around there. That is Trover Saves the Universe from Squanch Games. Of course, they are the developers of Accounting Plus and Accounting. Do we know how long Trover exclusivity will be? No. With PSVR, it's been kind of interesting as far as exclusivity because we've seen some very short exclusivity windows. We've also seen some very long exclusivity windows, so it is questionable at best. Okay, MAME fan, he's saying it's confusing when they say games just released even if they've been in early access forever. Okay, yeah, see, I was on the Vive subreddit and it was like, this game just came out today or whatever. Yeah, the whole early access thing, man, my take on that, I don't believe it's a new release at all. If a game's been available for 8-9 months in early access, that's when it came out. I know you're saying, yeah, now it's officially available. This is the real launch of the game. Whatever. You were taking money for 8 or 9 months. So I don't think that like they screw up the release dates too. They're like changing the release dates, and it's like, nah, man. I want your original release date. Like the second you were selling your game to an individual person, that's when you released it. Okay, here's Trover. Let's peep it out.
Bullshit. Back to you in the studio, Chuck. Sorry about that, folks. Clearly, lots of outrage over these dogs.
Hey, what's up? I'm Bobby Joe. I'm at the big chair fair.
And you're keeping the kids because you don't respect me. You push me, and you push me to rotate my chair.
You have no idea how fucked things are because of your two stupid dogs.
We are the abstainers.
Holy shit, that's what the abstainers look like?
Why can't you just respect?
This is gonna be
I don't wanna
funny,
rotate my
man.
chair. I don't want to be jiggling around.
They look just like the guy who's got the dogs in his eyes causing all this trouble. Shut the fuck up, Trover. No one needs to hear your commentary about everything.
Must find the crystal of Ithacles.
Partner, we gotta find the crystal of Ithacles. Well, I have the crystal of Ithacles right here.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you son of a bitch.
You're the Cheropian with the dog. So we have you to blame for this bullshit.
I'm your boss. I'm the one who pays your bills. Shut the fuck up and do what the fuck I tell you to do.
That looks pretty freaking hilarious. I don't mind the kind of, you know, the kind of profanity and stuff that goes on there. I think it's pretty hilarious. Oh, actually, speaking of the profanity, yesterday I want to kind of apologize. I was kind of going a little bit crazy there with a lot of profanity in yesterday's show. But, you know, Rick, I was going to say Rick and Morty, but
And you're keeping the kids because you don't respect me.
But basically, yeah, this Trover does look pretty cool. This looks fun. It looks incredibly colorful. Basically, you know, third-person action adventure, obviously.
Holy shit, that's what the abstainers look like?
Why can't you just respect that I don't want to rotate my chair? I don't want to be jiggling around.
Yeah, sometimes when you just say F this, F that, every other 5 words, it kind of gets boring after a while. The initial shock value is always interesting. This game looks very colorful. I think it's going to be cool. I'm interested in this. I want to check this out.
Well, I have the crystal of Ithacles right here.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's different. It's very different. It's very different. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but there are a lot of PC VR gamers that are definitely jealous of PSVR players, because there's a lot of PC VR gamers that would love to play everything Justin Roland related, including this, and they're going to be a little bit jelly of PSVR owners. I don't know. Did they mention any kind of date at the end of this? I don't think they mentioned any kind of date. Let's see. Trover Saves the Universe, created by Justin Roland. Debuting exclusively on PlayStation VR, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation VR. We don't get a date. I'm pretty sure this is like February, January of 2019. I believe this is a first quarter 2019 game. I don't think there's any chance that comes out this year. So it is a little bit further away. But that is a cool new trailer. Nice to check that out. Obviously, we have some differing opinions in chat. Let's see what people are going. Oh, Kevgret says, I don't know why, but I didn't laugh once at this trailer. VR Show says, yeah, definitely Rick and Morty style vibe. But yeah, not too funny to me either, says Epix. Paradise Decay, I get the humor. VR Show, I do too, but I guess I gotta be in the mood. Fluke says, I like Rick and Morty the series, but I wasn't that impressed with the game. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is definitely acquired taste. I like the fact that it's different. It is just very, very different. Graphics look incredibly colorful, bright, and cheerful. I think this will look good on PSVR, hopefully. But yeah, you know, so it does look pretty cool. Hybrid Energy has checked in. Lethal Weasel VR is here as well. Yeah, so today don't have like major stories and stuff that is going on. I don't know. Epix, you are a news guy. What's the #1 story right now? Like, what would be the biggest story out there? I'm always curious. Let's see if I can grab some other random trailer right here. What is the biggest story that is out there? That is the big question right now. I really have no idea. You know, Marvel Powers United VR, it's kind of back in the news. There was an update for Marvel Powers United VR. I haven't gotten back into this. I have not played this. I have not played this in like weeks and weeks and weeks. But there was an update for Marvel Powers United VR. But what I'll go ahead and do is let me go back to Upload VR. That's where they were talking about gameplay from Trover Saves the Universe. HTC launches Viveport subscriptions for Oculus Rift. Oh, has this actually happened today? This is actually pretty big news. HTC launches Viveport subscriptions for Oculus Rift. The plan includes a free trial, so there's little risk for Rift owners to try out the service. The entry-level $9 per month Viveport subscription plan lets players pick 5 titles to play that month. You know, honestly, okay, this story was originally posted on August 16th, but has been updated September 4th now that subscriptions are active. Well, holy smokes here. This would be super, super interesting to me if the software that is running behind this is completely different than the one that is running for the HTC Vive, because then maybe it means no blue screens of death. Like if they had to write 2 completely different styles of software for the Oculus Store to have Viveport, like if it's different software, if it's a completely different download than the regular Viveport, then some of us might be brave enough to actually risk it on our PCs. Oh my God, that is freaking huge. Has anybody been brave enough to try this? I Am Rut says, still scratching the surface on Marvel Powers United. Dude, Marvel Powers United, other than looking at my Spider-Man arms and being like, oh my God, this is Spider-Man in Technicolor. The inverse kinematics work pretty good, at least from wrist to elbow they do. Besides doing that, besides being the Hulk, and being the Hulk was kind of cool, grabbing the little guys as the Hulk and smashing them together and throwing them off into the distance. When I was the Hulk, it was probably actually the most entertaining part of this game was being the Hulk. And Spider-Man, I did like my Spidey arms, but the gameplay of this game, my biggest criticism on Marvel Powers United VR is I would get into this game and ultimately I'd be like, I'm bored. It's like going through so many stages and stages and stages, and I'm like, when is this game gonna end? I actually want to get out of the game before it's even ended, before I'm at a like checkpoint, because it just gets boring. It's just so damn monotonous. I just feel like the gameplay is so freaking monotonous in Marvel Powers United VR that I never really gave this game a fair shot, though. I should probably get back into it. I should probably try a few more heroes. Does anybody have any suggestions? Besides the Hulk and besides Spider-Man, does somebody have a suggestion on one of the different heroes to try? And maybe I can go back into this and try it. Now, there has been some kind of update. There has to be something that was kind of patched with this game. Something was fixed, right? So, but anyway, this Viveport thing, this is kind of big news. Viveport on the Rift. My big question, I mean, the biggest question of all is this a completely different patch of software than it is for the Vive? Because the Vive one, hell no. I will not get within 20 yards of Viveport software. Not on my primary PC. If I had a backup gaming PC, I would definitely go ahead and then put Viveport on a backup gaming PC. In fact, I just got an email today from Fast Travel Games, developers of Apex Construct, that Apex Construct is now on Viveport, and it's one of the games that you can choose. It's one of the games, you can go ahead and choose Apex Construct as one of your games, one of your free games for that month. So that's kind of cool news, you know. Let's see. Pete Shirey says Doctor Strange and Black Panther were cool for me. Is that mostly from a powers and voice perspective, or do you feel like actual gameplay? Because I feel like actual gameplay was improved with the Hulk. I felt like it made it a better game. Hybrid Energy says making Marvel a wave shooter was a bad idea on their part, but it started development during an era when Robo Recall and Raw Data were huge. But Robo Recall and Raw Data are both better games, because the bottom line here is Sanzaru Games, they should have made it last in shorter bursts, because it just gets so freaking repetitive. It's repetitive. That's what kills it. It's not that the gameplay is terrible, that it overstays its welcome. It needs to end quicker and switch you to something else, and it needs to add some kind of little bit of a story thing with it as well. It just becomes rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's the biggest problem about it. Paradise Decay says Nathy raved about Doctor Strange. He loved playing that character. All right, well, I'll give it a try. You know, the Doctor Strange movie, I really liked the first like hour or so of the Doctor Strange, like the beginning. The beginning part of the Doctor Strange movie was a really, 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 really good movie. And then at a certain point, it gets a little bit goofy. But the beginning part of the Doctor Strange movie was a really good movie. I'm not really a Doctor Strange guy, but I have seen that movie. So, you know, I'll go back in there. I'll try that character. I will check that out. That is Marvel Powers United VR. I just happened to grab that trailer there. Let's throw on a very debonair guy. This is Alvin Wang Graylin, I believe, the HTC Vive executive. He is in the running to be the next 007, the next Bond. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just throwing something random on here real quick while I go check out some more news. But what do you guys think about Viveport on the Rift? Who's going to jump on a grenade for the boys? You know, who is going to jump on a grenade for the boys and download that software and see if it crashes their PC completely? Who's going to do it? Somebody has to be brave enough. Okay, so I am bouncing over now to Road to VR. They're talking about Blasters of the Universe Studio announces reality-bending VR puzzle game Transpose. And yeah, we did have that. And Trover Saves the Universe gameplay looks really cool, really interesting. Oh, here's something that's in the news. Let me throw in a new video. Okay, James Bond, we love you, Alvin Wang Graylin. You are definitely the next Bond. But there is some actual news, if I can find it here. So, the developers of Beat Saber, guess what? They are now working on the PlayStation VR version full time. They have full time dedicated themselves to the PlayStation VR version. And my comment to that is freaking about time, dude. Like, how long does it take to convert this game to PlayStation VR? You know, you're not doing brain surgery here. I would think this could convert to PSVR very well. And apparently people at PAX, like, people have played the PSVR version of this game, and they say that it works pretty freaking flawlessly, that you can deal with the tracking. You just got to kind of stay within that cone of vision for the camera, and hopefully have your camera higher, angled down, gives you a good shot of the play area. And Beat Saber is going to finally make its way to PlayStation VR. When are we going to get the date, man? We are in September. It is September 4th. We still don't have a date on Beat Saber for PSVR. They are really trying to milk this thing. Like, this has got to be out in October, right? This can't be like a November or a December release. We've been waiting for this thing forever. But I think this is going to be a big, big game on PSVR, because I think this is going to be a party game. Thanksgiving 2018, there is going to be a lot of PlayStation Beat Saber parties that are going to happen, and I think it's going to be really big for VR. I don't really play Beat Saber anymore. You guys might remember I said Beat Saber made me cry. It legitimately did make me cry. The very first time I played Beat Saber, and it was that Escape song, I just got caught up in the moment, you know, of it, and I was just dialed in, and it was like a movie, and you just, you know, it was like goosebumps going down my arms and stuff. But I haven't really been into Beat Saber since that point in time. I've moved on to other games. It's still a fantastic game, and I think, you know, I was doing the modded songs, and those work kind of good. VR Spry Guy says broken TVs on Thanksgiving. Absolutely. There will, there's also going to be some Firewall 0 Hour that is going to be going on at Thanksgiving as well with the AIM controller. Firewall, man, still playing that, still screwing around with that, still love the immersion of the 3D audio. I do need to, at some point in time with Firewall, create a new account so I can get like 48 hours and try a little bit of online gameplay just to see how horrible, just to see how quick I get sniped like you wouldn't believe when I'm playing actual multiplayer. Beat Saber, I cry every time, Anthony. Yeah. No, I cried one time. And I wasn't actually bawling, but liquid did drop. Liquid did. Hey, I've watched certain movies. Forrest Gump. I probably had a tear come down during Forrest Gump. There are plenty of movies that have created waterworks. I'm not going to lie, man. It's real. I'm not going to lie. So anyway, that is that. So Beat Saber in the news. They're working full time. They need to work double time, and they need a couple of PlayStation VR, Sony guys helping them out as well, making sure it's polished, dialing it in. I'm just throwing a random trailer up on here. Let's go ahead and check chat. The games with great story, social interaction, or that are highly competitive are the games I come back to over and over again. Who was that? It's cutting off on my view. Oh man, I missed it. Hold on a sec here. So let me get back into my live stream. It cuts off my chat at a certain point. I didn't even see who made that comment. Okay. I didn't pop out my chat. You got to pop out chat. Okay, so I will pop out chat, which this will allow me to scroll back and forth. I did not see who made that comment. This has taken me like 20 seconds just to get back here. Okay, it was Scion VR. Scion VR said the games with great story, social interaction, or that are highly competitive are the games that he comes back to over and over again. T-Dub says Blunt Force trailer looks interesting. Bit of a wait though, 2019. Oh, Blunt Force looks dope. That trailer looks really good. Bullet Ape says, wondered how much Beat Saber would miss the haptics on PSVR. Dude, PSVR doesn't have precise haptics. It has a general rumble. But if you've played PlayStation VR Worlds and it has that ball there of water and those different globes things, and you take your Move controllers and you smack it through it, let me tell you, that rumble can work wonders. That rumble could work very well. Logan68 says, looks more like the villain than James Bond. That's Alvin Wang Graylin. No, dude, this Alvin Wang Graylin guy, I'm telling you, this guy, he wants to be debonair. This is a debonair executive in the game. Serious. I'll give this guy some credit. He is a debonair individual. I have a number of these different little things where it's just a picture. Like I have Acer Dude. Let's take a look at Acer Dude. This is Acer Dude. And Acer Dude has neck beard going on as well, which is not the greatest look. You don't want to combine Acer Dude with neck beard. Luckily, we're zooming in away from the neck beard. Away from the neck beard. Away from the neck beard. I have a number of these little where it's just a picture of somebody. Like Palmer. For example, Palmer. Oh my God. Did this guy shit all over the Magic Leap 1, or did he shit all over the Magic Leap 1? Palmer was just vicious, just absolutely vicious on the Magic Leap 1, just vicious. Here's a guy, Ben Lang, Ben Lang, Road to VR. This dude is, I highly respect Ben Lang. Of all the VR journalists that are out there, probably one of my most respected VR journalists. Upload VR has a number of good journalists as well. But I like Ben Lang. We used to feature his stories a lot. I do have a little Ben Lang thing. I'm trying to look at little pictures I got on. Oh, I got Dan O'Brien. I got our boy Danny O'Brien. Danny O'Brien with the nice sweater. He's got a fresh haircut as well. That's our HTC guy, Danny O'Brien. So anyway, this is some of the stuff we do when we have a shit show. We don't have any news. We can comment on different pictures. How fun is this? Do I have any? Oh, I got the Dell VR dude. This is the Dell VR dude, ladies and gentlemen. Now, is that a funny looking headset or what? I mean, that is kind of that dude looks like an alien. Oh, the yoga girl. Put on the... No, dude, yoga is like not safe for work material. I can barely show the Box VR video, much less the yoga video. You know, Box VR, I could probably get away with that one, but the yoga one, you can't even do that. Trying to see. Oh man, my stomach is starting to growl. I am starting to get hungry. Oh, I have the giant PSVR. Here's one, giant PSVR. This is in England somewhere, I believe in London somewhere. Giant PlayStation VR. I'd like to get a photo in front of that. Why not? But yeah, the Dell looks like an alien. That's Paradise Decay. Yeah, so we're just throwing some random stuff up on here. I can throw on a legitimate trailer of something, and then I can try to go look for a news story. Let's throw on Cross-Side the Prison trailer, and let me go and see if we got any news stories that are going on. Let's check. Well, actually, why don't I check the subreddits and see what the top stories are on the subreddits one last time, and then we can bounce out of here. So I am on the Vive subreddit right now. They are talking about a new firmware update for the HTC Vive wands that should give developers the ability to control the amplitude of the haptics. It's an amazing upgrade that is supported on Knuckles but wasn't transferred to the Vive until now, and Climby Dev made a demo to test it. So this is the big news of the day. So if you do have an HTC Vive, I don't know if we can test that yet. I don't know when we'll actually... I don't have an HTC Vive, but one of you that do have a Vive, when are you going to be able to check that out yourself? Although Much Charles, a developer, says you could definitely control amplitude before now. You used to have issue calls with your amplitude every 5 milliseconds or so. The new API lets you put in duration, frequency, amplitude. So I guess the new API is an improvement, but this was definitely already possible since the introduction of the Vive itself. That's what some people are saying here in this thread. So that is a firmware update for the HTC Vive wands. There's also a little bit of talk about the HTC Vive wireless adapter. There is the question, what about Resident Evil 7? When the hell, I wonder if I have a Resident Evil 7 trailer. But yeah, we have some people talking about when the hell is Resident Evil 7 going to make it onto... I don't have Resident Evil 7. I do have a Resident Evil 2 trailer. So I'll go ahead and throw Resident Evil 2. This is a game that is not coming to VR, and we were all super disappointed by that. But the question is, what about Resident Evil 7? Is it ever going to come to Rift? Is it ever going to come to Steam? Is it ever going to come to Vive? It seems like there is money just sitting there on the table. Bullet Ape says he's given up on Resident Evil 7. Yeah, I have as well. As far as VR game rankings, like, we don't have it on our most wanted list anymore. We had it on our most wanted list forever. We've finally taken it off there, and we finally just said, okay, I guess RE7 is just never coming to VR. They probably would have to pay maybe a couple $100,000 to convert it and market it and all of that. And so there is a slight bit of an investment as far as that goes. And so maybe Capcom just says, nah, we just don't want to do it. I really feel like they're leaving some money on the table, but that's their own business, right? Okay, over at the Oculus subreddit, they're talking about a VR game that will let you just sit peacefully in a bar and drink a beer. The problem is, though, if that beer cup is not tracked, and I have an idea. I believe that we are going to have nightclubs where we're going to wear VR and we're going to be at a nightclub. And it's going to be like Player One almost. You know, you're going to be dancing with somebody that really isn't who they are. They might look like some freaking cartoon person, and you're going to be dancing with them. And I do believe that we will be able to drink things. There's going to be VR cups that are going to have some kind of sensor built into it that will sense how much drink is inside there. And it'll be relayed to your VR headset how much drink should be in your cup. So you're going to see how much drink should be in there. And it's going to give you that one-to-one immersion. And the cup is going to be tracked. You're going to have inverse kinematics. We are going to experience nightclubs in VR within the next 15 years, I personally believe. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it is going to happen. You heard it here first. Somebody made a golf club for the Golf Club VR, and it feels amazing. Unfortunately, I did not grab a picture of this. And for me to grab this picture and put, oh, here's a video of it in action. It's a YouTube video, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means? That means I can grab it real quick. So let me grab this real quick, and we will, unfortunately, it's a 7-minute video. So I don't know how quickly he gets to the damn golf club, because I don't know of a way to like fast forward through the video. I'm able to just put the video on. Epix, I don't know if he's still in chat, but he has learned a lot of new tricks. Yeah, Epix is still in chat. Epix, dude, have you learned how to like do the whole live stream thing and to be able to go to websites? And I need to figure all that out. I'm not very good at all of that. I have to like convert pictures. See, basically, I have a video window. I have this video window down below that has the Resident Evil 2 trailer. I have a video window of myself, and then I have a window for chat. That's all we have. We have 3 things, right? And to put stuff into my video window, I got to convert it into a video. So if I see a screenshot that I want to put on, I actually convert it to a little video of the screenshot, and then I render it at 1080p so it's perfectly sized, and then bada boom, bada bing. And I know there's other ways to do all this, but I haven't learned how to do it. It's my fault. I am a failure. My apologies. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to grab this trailer that I just got, where this guy shows a golf club that he made, and see if we can check this out real quick. But yeah, see, it's taking me time just to freaking find this guy's video where I just downloaded it. Where is your golf club video? Oh, here it is. My awesome homemade golf club stock. Okay, so the problem with this video, though, of course, is it's going to probably take like a minute to get to where he's actually showing the thing. Virtual Dave. Well, here you go, Virtual Dave. Tons of advertising for your new channel. This is going out to tens of dozens of people. Tens of dozens of people are going to see this and hear about your new channel. Your sub count is just going to go through the roof. You're going to add like another 20 subs after this. But we'll have to wait till he gets into where he actually shows the golf club. Let me see if I can find any other news while we're watching that. I haven't checked the PSVR subreddit. I'll check that real quick. We've been going just about over an hour, so I'm about to bounce out of here, especially because I am starving. Sony CEO does have a couple of comments on VR. He says, you will see the change and improvement. I actually read the legitimate story of where this comes from. And the truth of the matter is the guy barely said anything about anything. This is a quote that the Sony president had to say. Kenichiro Yoshida. And this is not Shuhei Yoshida. These are completely two different people. This is Kenichiro Yoshida. He said that the inability to see the world around you in VR could be, quote, a little bit dangerous, and that motion sickness was still prevalent. Another thing he says, so there is a lot of room to improve in VR experiences, and you will see the change in the improvement. And those are basically the two quotes that you have. That's it. That's all we have, is basically two little quotes saying that it could be a little bit dangerous not being able to see the world around you, and that there is basically room for improvement, and you will see the change in the improvement. And yeah, in addition, water is wet. So basically nothing we didn't know about over there. But that's pretty much, they have that new trailer, Transpose. We did take a look at that trailer. It is from the developers of Blasters of the Universe. That's one of the things we started off with. And I haven't been looking at this golf video. See, this is a 7-minute video. Does the guy... Okay, he is actually showing how he has his Rift controller connected to the thing. Let's actually listen to this for a couple of seconds.
Just practicing with the driver, getting it onto an island out in the water. Let me show you. Actually, let me turn up the volume to that.
Yeah, give us some crickets.
This is what it's like, and believe you me, it feels really realistic.
Believe you me.
Because the controller is no longer in my hand up here, you have an option in the settings to slide the controller down, specifically for this reason. Hopefully all this is secure and it never flies off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is not like a breaking story. Dude made a custom golf club, but I do believe we need these things. Like, we need baseball bats, we need tennis rackets, we need golf clubs, we need everything, really. And all they need to make is the handle. They need to get the handle dialed in, and they need to get the weight dialed in. You don't need to make a full-size baseball bat. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that HTC Vive tracker had a freaking tracker on the very end of it, and somebody's using a full-size baseball bat right next to like flat screen TVs and stuff. We don't need that. What we need is we need the handle for the baseball bat, and then we need a weight, but it could be that long. You know, it doesn't need to be a super long device. Same thing with a tennis racket, same thing with a racquetball racket, basically any racket that you'd possibly hold in your hand. Bow and arrow, you know, you could have a bow and arrow thing. I mean, there's lots of different things we could do here. And I'm all about the props because I want additional immersion. And you will get some additional immersion if you're swinging a real, you know, you feel like you're swinging the weight of a real golf club, and you get that after effect, you know. Get that, and you just look at it go, mate. Look at it go. Let's listen to this guy for a sec.
That is absolutely amazing. Oh, and it's going. Is it going to reach the island?
He hit that really nice.
It's just to the right. It hit the...
Just to the right of the island.
I'm not sure if I'm holding this yet. I'll do it like that.
You can hear the seagulls. I've never tried the Golf Club VR. Anybody try this?
Oh,
You'd think we'd have...
actually whack it. And when I get a bit better, I might be able to...
You'd think we'd have a ton of golf games in VR. You really would. And we had Cloudlands Mini Golf. Pete Shirey says, Golf Club VR is a pretty solid game. I play with a friend a few times a week. VR Spry Guy says, Golf Club is a no-go for low ceilings. Well, I've got really low ceilings here. And if I had that controller, yeah, maybe it would. It might smack the top of my ceiling, actually. Pete Shirey says it's the best golf game he's played in VR, I'm assuming, or just period. Is it the best golf game, period, or the best golf game in VR? And what is the competition in VR from a serious golf game standpoint? Hybrid Energy says you smack your touch controller against the ground and you're going to need a new one. Yeah, that's a problem. It could be a problem. But not a lot of competition, sadly. Yeah, yes, in VR, not a lot of competition. Yeah, that is the truth. But think about this. Eventually, this will revolutionize like all kinds of sports. I truly believe, like, let me go on a little quick rant and then I'll bounce out of here. I play tennis in real life. Like, I can actually play a little bit of tennis in real life. And I can imagine a day when I am going to have a VR headset that is lightweight and, you know, not a huge giant contraption, right? It's wireless. And I'm going to be able to have enough room scale space where I can basically, for the most part, play full court tennis in my freaking house with a controller that has a handle that is very much like a tennis racket, exactly like a tennis racket handle, and has the appropriate weight of a tennis racket, but obviously doesn't need to be a full-size tennis racket, right? And maybe even a ball for when no, I don't know how they would do the ball thing, but maybe you would have to have a grip in your left hand where you feel like you're really holding a ball. You feel like you're holding a ball. But I can imagine a day where I can play tennis in my own house and feel like I'm in Wimbledon. Like I should feel like I'm in Wimbledon, and there should be very little difference whatsoever. I should be able to, wireless move quickly with tracking and have full body tracking. So my body is in the game. I'm seeing my body in the game. I'm seeing my tennis racket. Now, here's the problem. These ceilings would not work. I need a new house with like 14-foot ceilings. So when I'm serving, you can jump up and you can, or like when you're going up for a slam, you can jump up and slam it. And if you have a lightweight enough headset on that you can barely feel on your head, completely wireless, fully tracked, this is going to happen within the next 10 to 15 years. And I cannot wait for that day. I want to feel like I am in Wimbledon. I see the grass, I see the people in the stands, and you hear the 3D audio and you feel like you're there. It's going to be there. We're going to be able to, that's why this VR is going to absolutely revolutionize exercising. We're going to be able to have mountain bikes on motion simulators, and we're going to be able to bike the Great Wall of China, and it's going to look freaking flawless. Like there's a lot of good things that are going to be coming our way in the near future, folks. So yeah, this guy did create a golf controller. Much love. He is going to add literally tens of dozens of new subscribers today. So that will be cool. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. This is kind of what we call a shit show. It does happen. Sometimes I'm not prepared for this at all, but I'll still come on here. I'll still try to do what we can do. We'll still try to have fun and make a go of it. This, of course, was September 4th, Tuesday, September 4th. This has been VR Game Rankings. Definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video. Go over to Epic's channel, The VR Show. Subscribe to his channel, like his videos as well. We are one big happy family. Paradise Decay as well. There's a lot of great content out there. Support your YouTubers by liking their shows, commenting on their videos, doing all that good kinds of stuff. And tell a buddy, tell a friend about it as well. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow, probably 11 a.m., back to the normal time. I did get my haircut. That did work out. Thanks so much. Sorry for delaying it by half an hour. See you guys tomorrow. Later.